Breaking news. Police in New Zealand say a number of people have died after shootings at two mosques in Christchurch. The city is on lockdown.
There is no place in New Zealand for such extreme acts of unprecedented violence. And I can tell you now, this is and will be one of New Zealand's darkest days.
I could only, the blood is speaking on me, splashing on me. And I'm thinking, oh my God, it's going to happen to me now.
Well, good morning. You're watching Sky World News. We start this morning with breaking news. A multiple shooting in Christchurch in New Zealand. Police say they've defused a number of improvised explosive devices found on vehicles in the city and have taken 4 people into custody. They say they're not aware of other suspects involved in the shootings. Well, New Zealand Police Commissioner Mike Bush has been giving an update in the last half an hour or so with the latest on those shootings.
We have 4 people in custody. We are not aware of other people, but we cannot assume there are not others at large. We have a number of schools in lockdown. We're currently making sure we have enough staff to saturate the area with enough equipment to ensure that when we release that lockdown, people can get home safely. We're in the process of that. It will happen very shortly. We are pouring resources into that area. Every available Canterbury and staff member and people nearby, other emergency services also, saturating that area with visibility to ensure that everyone who needs to. We are also setting up a facility as we must, because this is absolutely tragic. There will be so many people affected, so that people can get more information. They will be worried about their loved ones. We don't have the identities of those people who have died as yet, because those locations are still in lockdown, but we want to make sure we set up a facility where people can phone in and get the information they need. That is an absolute priority. Our people are doing that at the moment. As you can imagine, this is requiring every police and emergency resource that we have available. We have Defence Force aircraft here in Wellington ready to fly more resources into the area. We'll do that from other locations nearby as well. So I want to assure the public we are doing everything we can to make sure there is no more harm to their communities. 4 are in custody, 3 are men and 1 are woman. 1 is a woman, as I understand it. It's moving quite quickly, so I need to frame that in that way, that that's what we believe at this moment. The attackers were apprehended by local police staff. There's been some absolute acts of bravery. I'm hugely proud of our police staff, the way they responded to this. But let's not presume that the danger is gone. So we want to make sure that we're right across that community. We're as visible and equipped as we need to be to make that happen. I can tell you that there were a number of IEDs attached to vehicles that we also stopped. They've been made safe by the Defence Force, but that does go to the seriousness of this situation.
New Zealand's Police Commissioner there on the latest on that ongoing situation there in the country. Well, the Prime Minister there, Jacinda Ardern, also reacted to those shootings.
Whilst I cannot give any confirmation at this stage around fatalities and casualties, what I can say is that it is clear that this is one of New Zealand's darkest days. Clearly what has happened here is an extraordinary and unprecedented act of violence. Many of those who will have been directly affected by this shooting may be migrants to New Zealand. They may even be refugees here. They have chosen to make New Zealand their home, and it is their home. They are us. The person who has perpetuated this violence against us is not. They have no place in New Zealand. There is no place in New Zealand for such acts of extreme and unprecedented violence, which it is clear this act was. For now, my thoughts, and I'm sure the thoughts of all New Zealanders, with those who are being affected and also with their families. My thoughts also to those in Christchurch who are still dealing with an unfolding situation. The advice from police continues to be that people remain indoors. I acknowledge that may mean that some families are separated, but please continue to listen out for information as it comes to light that's been directly provided by the New Zealand Police with further information. But as I say, please remain in lockdown. We are potentially still dealing with an evolving situation, again, as I say, across multiple sites. Please be assured, though, the police are actively managing the situation. Christchurch Hospital is dedicated to treating those who are arriving at the hospital as we speak. I would describe it as an unprecedented act of violence, an act that has absolutely no place in New Zealand. This is not who we are. It has occurred in a place where people should have been expressing their religious freedom, where they should have been in a safe environment, and they have not been today. There is no place in New Zealand for such extreme acts of unprecedented violence. The people who were the subject of this attack today, New Zealand is their home. They should be safe here. The person who has perpetuated this violent act against them, they have no place in New Zealand society. And I can tell you now, this is and will be one of New Zealand's darkest days.
Jacinda Ardern there. Well, I'm just going to bring you an update from New Zealand Police, who have been keeping us all informed via their Twitter account. They now say that they can confirm the lockdown of schools throughout Christchurch has been lifted, so children there being allowed to go home. They go on to say that they would like to reassure members of the public there that there is a large police presence in the city and the safety of the community is our priority. So the latest we're hearing from police there that lockdown throughout Christchurch of the schools has now been lifted. Let's get more from our correspondent Siobhan Robbins, who has more and joins us now live from Bangkok. Siobhan, the Prime Minister there of New Zealand describing this as the darkest days of the country.
Yes, that's right, and it's clear from both the Prime Minister and the police how severe this event has been. Now, what we don't